Welcome to Grow with Kush. I'm your host, BNT Kush. Today, we're diving into the world of independent music with Stevie, an independent producer studying psychology at the University of Central Florida. In this call, we'll be exploring how he sees the world from the inside looking out.
Actually, here it is, but we're going to leave it there for now.
Say Kush, bitch, I'm back up on my rise. And I ain't fooling with my eyes. Stevie said going, so I had to compromise. You gon' lose your life, keep fucking with your pride. Even though I know it's never been my life. I will comfort lives that has punctured all our lives. Should've seen it from beginning, but we lack to visualize.
How do you see the world of music?
I see it as just like kind of a way that people can kind of describe themselves in a way that's not necessarily unique to them. It's always going to be unique to the person that's making it, and I think that's what makes the world of music what it is. A lot of people don't necessarily have a voice to say things, where the world of music gives them a voice. They can make a difference. They could get their messaging across to people in ways that is unique to them. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's really what the world of music is. Just a way for people to get themselves heard in a way that's not their necessarily voice, but their own words, their own ideas, and everything like that.
Yeah, that is really true because, like, thinking about, like, how we actually, like, we have so much stuff that's going on in our lives, and I think most people, like in general, we all got something to say. But I think when you really take that step to kind of like create some art around it, create some music around it, like you really like feel that whatever you're trying to say has a really big impact on the world, and that you it needs to be emphasized. It needs to be like needs to be on some kind of loud, speaker so that everyone can hear it, because at the end of the day, it's not going to do much if you're the only person that can hear what you're trying to say. If you're the only person that knows the message, then it's not going to really do much on the world. So, you know, um I do think it's like that kind of gateway, that pathway to actually
Yeah.
like actually changing the world, or just having an influence on it in general.
hmm
From the inside looking out, how would you like to be perceived?
Um. Honestly, I kind of really like how it's going, right? I'm
Yeah,
not necessarily as a producer. Is you're not necessarily on the forefront, right? Um, you're not going to be the artist that people think of. You know what I'm saying? I don't
yeah,
think about the vast majority of producers. Obviously, there's always going to be some exceptions to the rule. I don't necessarily think of their face. I usually just think of the sound that they try to cultivate. Um, so some of my favorite producers, I don't necessarily even know what they look like.
yeah,
And like I know, but from the outside looking in, a lot of people just hear a sound and they're like, "Oh, this is that guy," and that's it.
yeah,
Um, and I really love that way because you could use I could use my name as a stepping stone for people almost. So if people work with me, I'm elevating them rather than myself, so to say, right? Because that's
yeah,
how I view like Cisco. He is by far easily the face of the what I'm trying to do, right?
yeah,
I help out wherever I can in the background, but I don't necessarily want people to know my face. I don't necessarily want people to do all that. I kind of want people to recognize the sound and that's it.
yeah,
I'm trying to chip at my own my own sound. So people when people hear the music, they're like, "Oh shit, that's a Stevie beat. That's
mm-hmm,
that." And that's kind of where I want to be. People not necessarily recognizing my face, but more so recognizing the sound and the quality of the music that I put out.
yeah. I think that's really big because, like, when you have something that you really actually like put some time in, something that you really are passionate about, um, it doesn't always mean that you want to be the face of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, having something in general is so great and so powerful. Just having something that you want to be able to share, You know,
Mm,
you don't always have to put slap your face on it and then, have everybody calling you up, have everybody wanting you for this and this, and then your life just becomes, you know, way different from what you expected it to be because you just wanted to share something. Now everybody is, now they want you to be some kind of celebrity and they want to celebrate you everywhere you go. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And now that's good for some people because some people like that really is part of their pathway. They want to be celebrated because of all the challenges and the things that they've been through. Like it's okay to want to be celebrated and it's also okay to just want the thing that you're trying to share to be celebrated. You know, and
mm,
I think having understanding that difference and understanding that not either one is wrong. No one, you don't have to have your face on things, but it doesn't mean that you're a terrible person or that you're a bad person for having your face on things. You know what I mean?
mm.
Um, so that I really agree with that because I'm sort of like that person who would be like, I don't always want my face on everything. You know what I mean? Like obviously,
Yeah.
I want to do really big things, and I want to make sure that like I always have some, and it's hard because when you want to do those big things, it's only you, and then
Mhm,
you're doing everything by yourself, and it's like, okay, well, somebody has to be the face of this thing.
mhm.
So just I really understand that, and I do understand how difficult it is trying to make sure that the thing that you're sharing has more emphasis than your face, the relationship you're in, the new house you got, all
Yeah.
this extra stuff that has nothing to do with the thing that you're trying to share with everybody.
No, it's really important. And obviously you have to make sacrifices too. Like you
Yeah,
obviously, if you want to do something, you got to get your face out there. But I would rather be more known for the quality of the work, the things in that, rather than me as a human being, me as a person. I want my work to speak for itself.
yeah,
And you have to put your face on it sometimes. But obviously it's a balancing act. One in which you can only find when you start elevating and start doing things more and more. Um, but
yeah.
that's a challenge for another day.
Yeah, definitely. How should artists approach selling their art for artists who want a career in independence?
um, I think it's really important to sell your art, whatever medium you choose to make, whether it be music, whether it be artwork, whether it be written post, anything like that.
Yeah,
As an independent art as an independent artist, like I said, no matter what medium you're doing, it is not the way that it's set up is not conditioned for you to make money off of it. It's not. The
yeah,
the systems that are put into place are just not conducive to a career, even a job or anything like that. Whether it be Spotify, whether it be anything, the algorithm, anything like that, right? Because you're gonna have to play into the algorithms and things of that nature if you do want to get known and things of that nature. So
yeah,
it's really really important to start making money off of it. So selling stuff is going to be obviously selling services, especially for musicians and artists and engineers, producers, anything like that, is going to be very important. I mean, I see a lot of people selling services, mastering, mixing, anything that they're good at. They put a price tag, and if
yeah,
you're good enough at it, people are going to pay for it.
yeah,
Just in terms of selling music rather than streaming it, I've seen a lot of different individuals, especially lately, start using like Bandcamp. Bandcamp is a
yeah,
cool system in which you could get paid for it. They use links, they use Google Drive. They just shared the album. If you pay for it, you could share it. Things of that nature. Um, so obviously, there's a billion different ways to go about selling it. It's just a matter of what works best for you and the audience that you're trying to pursue. Um, for me, if I ever were to start selling my music, I would just sell the link, right? I would put it in a Google Drive and I would share the Google Drive. And it's not necessarily about for the consumer. I wouldn't necessarily say it's about the product in that point. I would say
yeah,
it's more about supporting the people that you support. I mean,
definitely.
growing up in high school and everything like that, I used to buy music, right? I could have easily gotten it on YouTube. I could have did a YouTube to MP3 like I do with everything else. But having that connection with the artist, I hit them up. I'm like, yo, I'll pay the however much money it was, $20 for an album. All right, bet. Now I have on a flash drive on my own computer the WAV files. I could do whatever I want with it, whether whether it be extract the stems, I could flip the songs, I could do all
Yeah.
that. Um, but it was more so that connection that I made with the artist. I thought that was always cool. But it's really important because, like I said, no system is in place for you to get paid, especially now with Spotify with 1,000 streams. You're never gonna make a very a pretty penny off of it. You're gonna make
Yeah.
fucking sense off of it. So you just got to find
Definitely.
ways that work for you.
That is really big, and at least like the one thing that I want to like even if it's not me, because I see a lot of other people who are starting to get into this kind of like idea, but it's still not formed, and I really want to take part. I really want to have a place in it, but even if it's
Mhm,
not me who popularizes or makes it big, I really want people to understand that you can like streaming is not it's a tool. It's not a bad thing
mhm,
that's good just trying to take all your money. It's
mhm,
obviously not something that you should be focused on if you think that, like if you're trying to get paid, that should not be the only source of your income, or you should not be trying to make that your only source of income.
mhm,
Use it as a tool, because what we realize is that like piracy became no longer an issue once a Spotify came out, because
mhm,
like now all the music was so accessible to everybody. It wasn't really like, okay, I didn't it wasn't big for me to just be like, okay, I have this person's song and I'm gonna like it's cool, but nobody really cares anymore, because they know and at some point it's gonna be free to everybody. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And so using that as a tool to be like, the one thing we didn't have before when we used to sell music is we didn't have a preview. We didn't have this kind of thing that we can look into the music and kind of get like just a taste of what we were about to buy. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And I think with these streaming services, you can really use it as a preview to the thing that they're about to buy. You know what I mean? Because it's always going to be accessible to everybody, but you can choose what you make accessible. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And so making the preview accessible to everybody, it allows everybody to already know what that song is like. They don't have to go buy it from somebody who just who has it recorded or something, who
yeah.
just bought it and was sharing it with everybody. Like there's no need for me to go through all that anymore. They have a
Mhm,
preview, a really great preview that I can actually have in-depth listening in, and then be like, okay, if I really like this, now I can go buy the full experience that comes with it. You know what I mean? And I don't think music should just be. I don't think music is uh just a one out experience where you just put in the headphones, listen to the song, and that's music.
that's
That's how
it.
you
Yeah,
enjoy. Like,
exactly.
yeah, no, like there's a whole like feeling that comes with it. A lot of times, like, why do people love watching videos, music videos? A lot of that
Mhm,
comes from the idea that music is much more than just a listening experience. You know what I mean? It can be a visual experience. It can be a written experience. Things like that. Like, just understanding that you can put all these things together and sell the
mhm,
experience of it all together, rather than just selling the audio track. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Let the audio track be a preview. The digital audio track, let that be a preview to the music that you're actually trying to sell, or the experience that you're trying to sell, because it's not always just about the track. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
It could be, a lot of times it's about the words that were being used. That can be put into a book. That can be put onto like a poster or something. All these
Mhm,
little different things, different nuances with the music that you can just make a whole experience out of. Like, that's my like one thing that I want to be like tell artists is that, like, please do not keep the focus on just the audio track, because if
mhm,
your focus is solely on the audio track and you want to share this music, like, the audio track is just one piece of it, dog. Like,
mhm,
don't
yeah.
be don't just be like giving people a piece of the pie. Give people the whole pie. Nobody wants to buy what you're giving because you're only giving a piece of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? it feels like a sample of like a, if you go into a Costco or something and you go into the side, you're just getting a little sample of the meat and cheese. You know what I mean? Like you gotta really go in. Like I want to buy the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And people do want to buy the whole thing. You just gotta make it accessible to them. Like I know so many artists that I listen to. I'm like, dog, if you had like a little short film that went with this, a whole
Mhm.
shirt that came with it, like the vinyl, like I want to get it all. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes they only have, this or that. They don't have the whole experience. So that's my one thing that I would just want to be able to like do that artist. Focus on that because if not, you're gonna have a hard time trying to sell anything.
Absolutely.
How do you keep pushing when things get difficult and challenging?
Um, shit. That when it comes to music, making music and everything like that, I've made it so that like the making of music is kind of like a necessary part of my day, right?
Yeah.
Um, there isn't. I've conditioned myself to a point where like if I don't make music in a day, then I kind of feel like I ain't do nothing. Um, so I always make time for it, whether it be at night, whether it be in the morning, any free time that I get, I try to always integrate music somewhere into it. Um, try to pump out a beat a day, no matter what. Obviously, every once in a while, I have an off day or two where I'm like, shit, I got to do schoolwork, I got to do family shit and everything like that. But making it a habit is the most important thing. That's kind of what I tell people when it comes to all this. Like, if you making a habit, like if you do it every once in a while, it's cool. Like, you'll make stuff. It just won't be the best that you can make because you're not
Yeah.
putting all your effort into it. But as soon as you make it a habit, as soon as you condition yourself that okay, I really need to do this now because this is the only time in
Mm-hmm.
the day that I'm going to have, that's when you start really picking up on it, and that's when you start integrating it into your daily life and you don't even think about it. Like these days it's like, oh shit, I didn't make anything today, I'm going to do that real quick, and I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it gets harder when shit pops up, and whether it be school just started, so now I gotta juggle another thing. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a habit now, so I
Yeah.
don't even think about it no more. It's just like, oh fuck it, it's time, it's that
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah. I mean, speaking of inside looking out, from the
mhm,
inside of my perspective, looking out, it just looks like the lifestyle that you're cultivating is actually like it benefits you and it's purposeful for you. It's not like this whole like shiny object that everybody is looking to have, but it's something that works for you. You know what I mean? And
mhm,
I always gravitate to those kind of things because like obviously we want this, we want that, we want all these crazy things, but like having a lifestyle that matters to you, you know what I mean? Something that you're like, okay, like this is why I love my life because I'm able to do this and I'm able to do that. Like you don't have to do any of these things that you do in your life.
mhm,
You could be doing anything else. You know what I mean? You could be living a crazy ass life, doing
yeah,
crazy ass things right now, but you're choosing to do the things that you're doing, which makes it more purposeful. Like with me, I don't like to, you know, I feel the same way when it comes to the business side of music. Like I love
mhm,
making my music and I'm always gonna love making my music. But because I got like I'm always working with artists and I'm always doing all these things, it's like I'm always getting that production side of things. So
mhm,
I still get filled up about that. But like the business side of music is really why I came into music is, I wanted that like I didn't like the idea that, I think we spoke about this all the time. Just my
mhm,
idea of that. I don't like the fact that there's people in this music game who's not getting appreciated for their work, who's not getting the kind of money that they deserve. Why is this person who is terrible at music making way more than this person who is like the best shit I've ever heard in my life? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like that doesn't even add up. So it's like there's something wrong with the business, and that's why I'm here. Is like I want to figure out what the problem is and solve that problem so that artists are being paid what they deserve. You know, and that's always gonna be my passion when it comes to this music stuff, is making sure that artists get paid for what they deserve. And I had to make my own music to understand what that meant. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Exactly.
I have to understand that, okay, what am I worth? How much am I worth? And why am I not getting paid what I'm supposed to
Hmm.
be getting paid? You know what I mean? If people love my stuff, if people are willing to, go on their streaming service, use their $10 a month to come listen to my song, you know what I mean? Like, why am I not getting paid,
Yeah.
the amount of money that I feel like I should be? So that's the kind of idea that I came into it with. So always making music is always going to be a love of mine, but making music with other artists, making music for other artists, and then trying to see how we can sell that music, how we can get you some money out of that. That's my like passion, and having that be a part of my day, regardless if I'm studying or I'm learning to be a better manager and things like this. Like, I know that I'm always gonna have a place in making, creating a way for artists to get paid. I'm always gonna have that as like a part of my day. So there's always gonna be something I do, and it's been conditioned into my
Hmm.
days that, okay, you gotta do something that's gonna benefit these artists. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because if not, then you're just like everybody else that you talk about. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you gotta do something every single day. What are you doing today for the artists that you support? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's why I really love working with you, is because when you make music, you're not just making beats every day. Like, I know a lot of producers who just make beats every day because they just love making beats, and that's great.
Hmm.
But you make your beats available every day
Yeah.
to people that really love the shit that you have going on. Like,
Hmm.
that's the stuff that I love, is that you're gonna always, like, it's not just the fact that you're making these beats every day. It's the fact that you're making these beats every day and then making them available to the people that can benefit from them the most. And
No, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's the thing that I like. I'm always gonna want to be a part of. If you're gonna have that, like, if anybody's gonna have that, I'm always gonna want to be there. Like, oh, we're supporting artists. I feel like I'm always a part of something that's supporting artists. You know what I mean? Working with you, I
Hmm.
feel like I'm always supporting artists. You're gonna make sure that a guy's gonna get a feature. You know what I mean? You're gonna make sure a guy, you link people up with people that they've never worked with before. Like, that's something that goes understated, because most producers do not do that. Like,
Hmm.
they don't care, and the only thing that they care about is making the new fucking future type beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally the type beats, anything like that. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, making it attainable. I mean, that's my biggest thing, right? I have the Google Drive that has all my beats, and I add people into them whenever I feel like, okay, they understand what I'm trying to do. They work well with me, everything like that. So I try to make it as attainable as possible. Whereas when people think, oh shit, I need a beat, all right, I'm gonna just hit the Google Drive, and there's gonna be 7 to 10 different things from the last time you just listened to it. And by no means are all those 7 to 10 things good in any way, shape, or form, but somebody can make them good.
Yeah,
Somebody will fuck with one of them. Whether or not I fuck with it, the beat itself is a different story.
yeah,
But no, I mean, I had people hit me about beats from fucking a year and a half ago, and I'm like, dog, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what do you? And then, and then I look, and I'm like, oh shit, that isn't actually that bad. But
yeah,
no, it's dope, and that cultivating that community is the biggest part of it. Because I don't release every beat I make, but I feel like every beat I make gets heard by somebody, whether it be you, whether it be with Cisco
yeah,
or one of the other individuals in the drive. And that shit makes me happy. That shit makes me really
yeah.
happy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's something that I didn't even, you know, like, somebody who really wants to support artists, and I come in here and this guy got a whole fucking drive supporting artists, making
Yeah.
sure everybody gets beats, that people that really fuck with your thing. It's not like you just got like the whole world in the drive
Hmm.
just taking your beats. You got people that you actually fuck with, people that you're actually close with, and that really support what you're doing and you support what they're doing, and it's a whole mutual experience there. So I really appreciate that, and just, that impact that you have on music, because like, even that, if you like quit music today, like, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
you have an impact on music that no one else was able to have. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, when you talk about like people having an impact, you know, people doing something with their music, people doing something with their message, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
You really done something already that changes the way that we, you know, we connect over this stuff. We share our
Hmm.
stuff. You've already created something that's different, and you're not going to find you're not gonna find too many people that is doing what you're doing with the music that you're making and the artists that you're supporting. You're not gonna find that everywhere. So,
Hmm.
you know, just that in general, just that alone sets you apart from a whole, you know, a whole range of people. You
No,
know.
absolutely. That's the biggest thing. It's just setting yourself apart, making yourself different from the because everybody makes music. Everybody wants to make music, and that's a fucking fantastic thing. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to put yourself apart somehow, some way. Making myself obtainable, making the beats that I make, making my services obtainable to the people that I mess with, the people I support, the people that show love. That's different. I really that's the biggest thing that I can say is just trying to make a community out of this, a little collection, and it's in the beginning phases, obviously,
Mhm.
but I think the foundations are definitely there.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of look at it like when you get like that you get like that first quarter of the book in, and then you
Yeah.
realize that like, okay, I can't turn back now, I gotta keep going, you know what I mean? And that's
Hmm.
kind of how it feels with everything that you're building, everything that we're building, you know what I mean? It just feels like
Absolutely.
we're just at a point where it's like, okay, looking back is like, okay, we're not already done so much, it's no point, like we might as well just, you know, see
You
where this
halfway
thing
through the
goes.
movie, bro. You can't. You might as well
Yeah.
just see it through, bro.
Yeah, you want to see it through to the end. But what makes your projects more worthwhile? Like, what makes working on a project more worthwhile than a single record?
Um, I love the the crafting of albums, right? Um,
Mhm.
from top to bottom, I try to make it a cohesive experience. So like I work with a lot of people for singles, for everything like that, and I love that as well, just because you can cultivate an experience into my beats are usually less than 2 minutes long, so you could cultivate an entire experience into under 2 minutes, which is fucking incredible in and of itself.
Mhm.
But stretching that along, um, 30 minutes, 45, however long my albums are. It's usually like 30 to an hour. I usually
Yeah.
try to keep it that way. Um, that's a challenge in and of itself, and I really appreciate that challenge. When it comes to working with artists to create albums, um, I make it a mission to make sure that it feels full. I try to make it so that there's no skips. I try to make it so that okay, I know what sounds good. I know what I want this to be, and I try to execute that however I can. Whether that be using the network that I'm trying to build with features. I'm blessed to have worked with countless people that are fucking extremely talented that have delivered every time I hit them, and I know they will continue to do that, right? So having that foundation, having that community around me, being able to be like, "Oh shit, I think this song would sound good with this guy." Fucking that's invaluable. You can't put a
Mhm.
price tag on that. Just doing that and making sure everything's cohesive from top to bottom, making sure that there's no tracks that are lacking in quality and substance and sound and anything. And I try to go through and I try to create an experience with somebody. And I like to think of myself as more of a album artist, so to say.
Mhm.
Singles are great. I fucking love singles. They're great.
Yeah.
They're bread and butter. But at the end of the day, I really want to create an experience for somebody, and that's how I look at albums. Um, I mean, our album that we are putting together now is incredible. I really love that. I spend that shit every day. The album that I'm
Yeah.
creating with Cisco, I spend that shit every day. The albums that I'm trying to create for myself with individuals like yourself, with Cisco, with all the other guys that I'm working with, I spend every day, and I try to make sure that I create a cohesive. full experience for the consumer. And I like to do that. That's my shit.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like I do agree so much. Like there's singles that like I feel like when you make a whole bunch of projects, you end up getting like so much like there's singles that got like that get spilled out of there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you're making projects, then there's this really good beat that comes up. Then you make a song where
Hmm.
you're like, oh, this is too good to go on the project. This is single worthy right here. So
Yeah.
it's like those singles are the things that like to me I look at the singles as the things that stand out in the mix of you making projects, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Absolutely.
those are the things, those are like one song that represents that moment of time, you know what I mean? And to me I think both are very important. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Singles and projects are very important. But you got to know when to have singles, when to have projects. And I think most people, especially if you're an artist, if you're really working on this craft as a living, you should be focused on projects and letting those singles naturally come about. You know what I mean? Because those singles are gonna come. There's always gonna be that one song that you're like, oh, this is
But shit,
way
this is
too
fire. Yeah.
yeah, this is really, really good. And a lot of the times, the really, really, really good songs don't even match up to anything else. It doesn't even feel like it belongs in the album. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So just having that idea that, like, okay, singles are gonna come. You know, I don't have to, like, I think nowadays most people are like, I'm gonna put out a single, I'm gonna do a single, single, single,
Yeah.
single. And it's like, with all these singles, you're able to create a project. I know you're able to
Exactly.
create a project because you make so much singles. But the thing is that you're not getting the traction that you want with single, 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 single. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
people are getting hype for these little moments, and
Hmm.
they're never gonna get hype again for that same thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But with a project, especially like when you're making something that's extremely timeless, they're always gonna come back to this thing. There's
Hmm.
always gonna be like this, like I know people who don't even like listen to albums like that, who go back to specific artists' albums just because that album made them feel different. They don't even listen to albums, but they do listen to this one album because this album changed their life. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
these songs on this album changed their life. Maybe it's four, five, six songs out of that whole album that they really
Hmm.
genuinely connect with. However, they love going back to that project in general. And that's something different than just having a single because you're never going to feel it's like you're chasing a high with a single.
Hmm.
Every time you listen to that single again, you're trying to chase that feeling of when they first dropped it. You know what I mean? But when you're when you listen to projects, when you listen to albums and things like that, it's like you're getting that same feeling, that same inspiration, that same vibe that you were getting before. So like I can listen to a new J. Cole album and I'm gonna like, I'm gonna really wanna keep trying to like gain this experience
Hmm.
that I got. And I know that I'm gonna keep getting it. And that's different
Hmm.
than chasing a high, you know what I mean? Because like you're never gonna get that first thing back, but you keep
Yeah.
going blindly hoping that you do, rather than like a project is like I know I'm gonna keep getting that feeling that I once got, and I keep getting every time that I listen to it. It solves another problem in my life. It does something else for me that I
Hmm.
couldn't have thought it could do. And not saying singles can't do that, but it's just
Yeah.
very, very difficult for singles to do that just because of the impact that a single has initially versus
Hmm.
the impact that an album has. An album doesn't have that big of an impact until 10, 20 years down the line. And now it's the biggest shit anybody has ever heard. And it's like, bro, I made that
Yeah.
album 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's how it is for some people. I look at artists today and they're like, you got things like TikTok, you got things like the internet, just
Hmm.
the internet in general bringing things back. Just, you know, people going on, old people coming back and doing tours and things like that. It's like
Yeah.
these albums, these things that these people created are now becoming something that they've never thought it could be 10, 20 years down the line. And that's my goal when it comes to projects. Like, I don't really care about it having that impact right now, because
Yeah.
I don't want people to listen to it today and then still be trying to chase that same high 10,
Mm-hmm.
20 years down the line. I want you to be able to listen to it today and realize that it solved a lot of your problems 10,
Mm-hmm.
20 years down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the
Absolutely.
that, that's more impactful than just I listened to this song one great time and it changed my
Mm-hmm.
life for that week. You know,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
that's yeah. Um, how should I go about making timeless music? Because I really want to make my albums timeless so that you can listen to them in a, you know, in the future, and that they have a
Mm-hmm.
way bigger impact in the future. And I think that's the idea of timeless music. So, for someone who I believe makes timeless music, how do you think I should go about making timeless
Shit.
music?
I mean, I I don't. I make music for myself, right?
Mhm.
I make music that I want to listen to. Um, I've never chased. I'm the only sound I've chased is the sounds that I enjoy. Um, and then I try to take my own spin on it. If you put enough of your time, enough of your expertise in anything that you do, um, the product of that is always going to be timeless, whether it be timeless to you or the people that are consuming it.
Mhm.
I feel like all my music is timeless because I go
Yeah.
back to the first tracks that I ever made and I'm like, holy shit, this is me. I love this.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, as the quality continues to increase with every track, with every mix, with every song, with every album, um, I think that's just it comes with the process. If you make sure that everything is the best that you can make at that given time, um, then over time everything is just going to become timeless to you.
Yeah.
If you the quality of music, I always like to think is going to go up and up and up and up the more and more you release, right? Because you learn new things, you learn new techniques,
Yeah.
you could work with new people, everything like that. Um, and over time it's just going to come if you just stay on the course that you're on, that anybody making music is on, over time it's just going to come. I mean, I look back and yeah, I love the first tracks I made, but they're shit now because I listen to it and I'm like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
I wish I did this, I wish I did that, I wish I did this. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily make it bad, but I'm like, okay, I could have definitely made this better. But at that time, that was the best that I could do with the knowledge that I had. And I think over time, obviously, that's just going to increase and increase. And for with you, I think it's just going to be staying the course, making everything as good as possible. And I think you've already made shit. You have timeless shit in the vault. You know what I'm saying? Just in the tuck
Yeah.
whenever. So um, it's really just staying the course, making sure everything's as good as you can make it in the moment that you can. And, just releasing it. That's that. I think you should release some music. I think that's gonna be the
Yeah.
biggest part.
Yeah. Um, I have this the project that I'm working on, this little EP that I'm working on. Um,
Mhm,
I like it so much because I get to take like it's coming together in the mix of everything that's going on with my life. So,
mhm,
it's like if I look at it, it's like each song that I made is like months apart. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it takes it's like it's probably taken me like 5 to 6 months to make this 4 song EP. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm,
that's but like that kind of like time that I put into making the music, like
mhm.
I feel like the more time you put into the music, more like the more timeless it becomes. You know what I mean? Because
Especially when you sitting on them, right? Because you could use
yeah,
the experiences of yesterday with the knowledge of today. Um,
yeah,
so that's the beauty of it. Because when you sit on shit that you saying it takes months apart, you could take
hmm,
the ideas that you had from 6 months ago and put the knowledge and the techniques that you've learned throughout the time period and apply it to that, and it makes it 10 times better, and it just amplifies the effect that the initial thing would have had. So
yeah.
I think that's dope.
Yeah, definitely. That's like my whole vision in terms of like, or my approach to trying to go about making timeless music is just putting the time into the music. I think
Mm,
nobody's gonna want to listen to it in 10, 20 years if it only took me 2 minutes to make the song. You know what I mean? Like
mhm,
the song is not gonna be as good as it can be if I took 2 months to make it. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And so that's the kind of idea that I have is like if you take your time with it, then it's gonna be like in the way further in the future, people are gonna like there's some kind of equation there that you know time equals time. There's the more time you
yeah,
put in, the more time you'll be able to get out of it.
mhm,
And that's what I see. It's like logically it makes sense to me that if I put more time in it, then more people will end up putting more time into listening to it over time, whatever the hell.
absolutely.
Um, yeah. What is your biggest fear in making music?
I I don't necessarily think there's a fear. I mean, probably getting sued if I'm being dead
Yeah,
ass with the sample. That would probably fucking suck. But
that would suck.
but
I'm not
outside
gonna
of that,
lie. It might like it's so hard for it not to happen, especially for
yo, for
sample
real,
artists.
yo,
Like
for real.
y'all just using samples in general is so fucking risky, bro. Like
Yo, for real. I be sitting there, I'm like, fuck, I hope this Russian dude doesn't sue me. He made this shit like 40 years ago. I pray to God he doesn't find this shit, yo.
right.
But I don't. I mean, outside of that, I mean, I, I don't really have any expectations for music in terms of, I don't, I don't see that. I see it as like a long term thing, obviously, because this is something that I love and everything. But my eggs aren't necessarily in this basket entirely, right? I have other avenues that I could take. I go to school. I have a family. I have friends that everything like that. So it's one aspect of it. I don't approach this like, oh, I want to get rich and famous off of this shit. Like this is the only thing that I. No, I mean, if it happens, that would be fucking dope. You're not gonna
Yeah.
hear any complaints from me. But like, um it's not necessarily something that I put any negative feelings toward, right? There's no overhanging anxiety with the music shit, right? There's no I really need this to blow up, blah blah blah. Nah, if it blows up, it's cool. If I get 100 streams, that's fucking amazing. If I get 1,000, 10,000, doesn't matter. Because this is what I love doing. This is something that I take pride in doing. So really, I just want to have this shit heard by people, and I know if I make a music, if I send you a beat, you're gonna listen to it, and that's
Yeah.
cool with me. If I send Cisco a beat, he's gonna listen to it. That's cool with me. If I send folks my music, they're gonna listen to it, and that's cool with me. So not no fears or nothing like that. Um, just please don't sue me. Basically, that's it's the biggest fucking thing.
But the good thing is, you got someone like me. I'm gonna make sure that like I don't
Mhm.
like nobody deserves to be like that. That's a it's people use it as like a it's like extortion at the most. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like with art, it's supposed to be like taken and used to make something new. Unless you're like going out there and just being like, "Oh,
Yo,
this is
for
my
real.
shit. I
Yo,
made this
for real.
song right here." Like, unless you're doing that, then there should be no reason these people are coming out and suing you about this thing
Yeah,
without ever having a conversation. Like most of these
exactly.
people, it's like I really created something completely different from what the hell you use. Somehow you just figured it out that I got your fucking sample.
Yo,
But
for
it
real, the
sounds
5 second clip, dog.
but it sounds nothing like what you were doing, and the fact that you're
Mm.
suing me over this, you didn't even talk to me about this. I could have had money already waiting for you, but you
Yeah,
decided to go and
for real.
sue me because you just thought that I'm over here just trying to take your shit, and it's like a
Dog,
lot of
I
y'all
will
don't
give
even
you
respond.
the entire streaming fucking money that I got from this shit. All like 5 cents that I got from this song, you could have, bro. That's the only shit I make off of it. So like,
Yeah, it's crazy, but I definitely do not want to be. I wouldn't want to be at that you know in that position, but I'm willing to, take on that position for all the artists that I work with because
Yeah.
like I understand the business that comes with this, and most people, most of these people that make music and that are suing people because they're using their samples and stuff like that, they really just want a quick bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they
Listen, if I
really,
get sued, that means my song doing good, so I'm cool. I'll take it with
yeah,
with a
like
badge of honor.
this is a good problem to have, like especially
Hmm.
for someone who uses samples as an everyday living, like to make their music. Is like I wouldn't be afraid of getting sued because it's probably gonna happen, but
Eventually.
you'll be so good about it, and you'll have like
Yeah.
at that point that means that so much people like your shit that that let's for real, they're not gonna take every last single dollar you've ever made in your life. You know what I mean? You're still gonna be good. They're probably gonna ask for a couple $100,000 so they can get a quick like they're not gonna go stupid on everything that you got. Like, you know what I mean? You're still
Yeah.
gonna be able to make some money off of just the sheer fact that you made that song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I wouldn't be worried about it because it's not gonna. You getting sued by someone. You getting sued because you may use the sample is not gonna stop another artist from coming to work with you. Like,
Exactly. Yo, for real. Nah, like I said, it'd be a good problem to have. They only suing people
definitely.
that make money off of this shit, so I'm cool. If that means I'm making money off of this, I'm cool with it, bro. I'm fucking
Yeah,
cool.
definitely. Like, you can't sue me if I don't have. I mean, you can, but I
you
don't have
you
any.
you will get fucking pennies, dog. You won't get none for that. I promise
Hey,
you.
you will get whatever is sitting inside my TuneCore account. You can get all that money, and
Fucking take it, dude.
yeah, take it. Like, you can have. I wasn't planning on using that.
Yo, for real. I forgot I had that shit, dog. Shit.
Exactly. Like, whatever's in there, because I don't know the amount, but you can have that. But moving forward with music, um,
Mm.
how big do you plan on um your collective to be? Like, how big do you want the people that you work with, the support that you have? How big are you planning on having that?
Shit as big as it gets, you know what I'm saying? I There's not really a number. There's not a finite number that fuck it. If I get 100 people tomorrow that like, yo, dude, I love your shit. Okay, no, I'll add them to the drive. I'll start hitting them up every other day for fucking features. I got enough material to supply a few people at the very least.
Yeah,
Um, so it is really as big as it comes. I'm not stressing the number. I'm stressing the quality of the individuals in it. Um, as long as you make good music, as long as you see the vision, as long as you willing to work, putting time, energy, everything that you can into it, there's no reason to cap it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, it's kind of just however many people come. You don't come, that's cool. If you do, awesome. The open arms. Um, that's really how it goes. I love discovering new music. I love discovering new artists. I love discovering people that I can consider friends. So hell yeah, as many fucking people that as many people would want to for sure.
yeah. Well, the really cool thing about some of the stuff that I've been working on, I finally got this account set up with this vinyl supplier. So we're gonna be able
Awesome.
to put that on the website. I don't have to like I don't have to technically I don't have to buy anything. Like
Mm,
you buy it straight from like the website or the link I have, like the little setup. And then
mm,
people are gonna be able to go and get their own vinyls from the supplier straight from it. It's gonna be all my shit. And I'll be able to get a percentage of all the stuff that they buy. Um, and also I'm getting my first vinyl for it for the my Throne Era
yeah,
project. So um that's gonna
dude, that's
come when
fucking sick, dude.
yeah,
That's
whenever it
awesome.
comes. I have it. It's been shipped, so I don't know when it's
Hmm.
gonna get here. I don't have no delivery time or anything like that. But whenever I do get that, I'm be so happy to have that.
Yo, for real.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I get a few more. I got a lot of people that I just wanna gift that out to. I wanna gift that out to you, especially. Gift one
Absolutely.
out to Zayhova because he's been instrumental in that album process.
For
Um,
sure.
just a few different people who's supported me along the way. I want to make sure I give a few of those to people. But beyond that, like I'm so happy to get started because all this is gonna be, all these little things are gonna be a part of the little package that I'm putting together. So
Mm.
um, just getting all these things together one by one feels good because like right now people are gonna be able to buy vinyls of my music, and that's one cool thing in itself. But once it comes all
Absolutely. That's
together,
fucking amazing, dude. That's sick as hell.
yeah, yeah, and I'm probably gonna put one up on my wall next to my
Ab-
Barry White record. So
Absolutely, bro. What the hell, dog? That shit would be plastered. That should be in my walkway, dog. That shit would be draping from the
yeah,
fucking roof. What the
it's a
hell?
yeah, it's a big accomplishment. Like especially like I don't. It's not like I'm out here just getting all the accolades from like normal people. When you're like I have like fucking one EP out, one single
Yeah.
released, and on all platforms. I have my Throne Era project that's only been released on Bandcamp on my website. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Um, it is like a very unique position I'm in, but these little accomplishments feel so good because I feel like if I was trying to go down someone else's path, I wouldn't get these same accomplishments. These kind of things wouldn't feel that good because I'll be trying to get to a million
The next shit.
streams.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
I'll be trying to do some crazy other stuff that really has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do. Like the art that I made, I'm about to get a physical version of it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's the
Like
coolest shit. Having it in your hand, bro, it's a different feeling. It's fucking amazing. That's dope.
yeah. So I'm gonna do that, and this is. I like to think of this project as like the trial run to everything else that we do. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
this project is gonna help me put together the first box. It's gonna help me find the fucking right vinyl people, the right fucking merchandise people, all the things that I need to like actually have a career around the music and actually have a business around the music. Um, this is gonna be like the first little trial test run. I get to
Yeah,
use a
stepping
project,
stone.
yeah, and I get to use the project that I made, you know what I mean, which feels
Hmm.
so good. That means this project will always mean something. And that's always what I wanted for the music that I make is for it to mean something. So the fact that now it's actually in a position where it's the catalyst to everything I'm gonna be doing in the future with the music business, it's like, come on now, that
That's fucking sick.
it doesn't get better than that. I mean, what other like with if, unless it's not out there like saving someone's life, like someone's about to die, and this song and cured their goddamn cancer.
Fucking
Then this is
resuscitates them, bro.
yeah, like this is the best feeling besides saving someone's life is the fact that
Yeah.
I get to actually like my music is actually about to do something big.
Nah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Um, do you have any questions for me? I've been asking all the questions today.
Dude, I'm chilling. I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is dope. I mean, just in terms of the music and everything like that we've been making lately, has been really, really, really good, and I'm super excited. Very, very excited for everything that's to come, man. What do you have planned next for in terms of music?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I love when people ask me questions, but that question specifically is like I've been feeling like ever since I've been doing all the stuff that's been making me busy recently, I
Mm,
just been feeling like, you know, people's like, where are you gonna do with the music? What's going on with the music? You're so
yeah,
like focused on the business and shit. So my next vision, my next goal, my next thing that I want to do with music is besides get a whole bunch of support from artists because I feel like having that tangible like, hey, I know these artists support me, these are the artists, these is a whole list of these artists, we go contact these artists, they're all gonna tell you that they fuck with the music that we make. But
yeah,
besides gathering all that support, I really just want to kind of work with all the like there's so much people around the country who I really like, who I really want to work with and things like that. And so I really want to be able to kind of like isolate, not isolate, but kind of group these people into like categories. So I understand, okay, these are the people here in my city, in my state that I'm going to work with this month. I'm gonna create
Mm.
these kind of projects. We're gonna do these kind of things, this kind of sound, this kind of stuff like that. Like really just expanding um, the projects and the stuff that I'm doing. You know, whether I'm
Yeah.
getting on someone else's project or I'm making my own project. My biggest goal moving forward is just having an understanding of, okay, do I want to go work with some southern East Coasters? Do I want to go
Yeah.
work with some northern East Coasters? Maybe I want to go work with some people in Central America, maybe a little bit of the West Coast. You know, what do I want to
Mm.
do? And having, like, being able to just pick that, just, okay, let's do that. Let me get a little bit of that. Let me get, like, having these arms, that's my goal. You know, that, like, that's kind of how I
Yeah.
see, that's what I want to have, is just be able to pick that, pick that. So just that's my next vision moving forward, is just working with enough people to have that um, foundation of picking from different places, different geographical locations, because everybody's different in different areas. Um, but if I can really just say, you know, we've got some people from the West Coast mingling with some people from the East Coast, and I was able to put all this together on my own. You know what I mean? Or with the people that I
Yeah.
support, like I was able to put this stuff together, so it makes things feel like we're gonna really get that connection from the people that like stuff like that. You know, who really loves music. Who's like, oh, these guys are coming together making music. That's always good. Unity is fun. Um, but also just the idea that I get to work with more people. I want to work with more people because I love the people that I'm working with now. They're great people. But however, I think moving forward, if I can expand the amount of people that I work with, I can expand the quality of the craft.
No, absolutely. That's the biggest thing. Just a collective. It gotta grow and then
Mm-hmm.
go from there. That's the biggest thing. But no, that's dope as hell.
Actually, here it is, but we're going to leave it there for now.
Say Kush, bitch, I'm back up on my rise. And I ain't fooling with my eyes. Stevie said going, so I had to compromise. You gon' lose your life, keep fucking with your pride. Even though I know it's never been my life. I will comfort lives that has punctured all our lives. Should've seen it from beginning, but we lack to